This is it. This is one of those RC trucks that is just going to be pure fun. How's it going, everyone? I'm Greg with RC Driver, and today we are going to check out the Losi Mini-T 2.0. Now, this truck has been out for a while, but it has been such a huge hit that they've sold out everywhere. And this truck right here, we've actually had this since the first release. Before the first release, we just didn't have a battery to test it, and by the time everybody's orders were fulfilled from the original release, there was no batteries left for us to test it out in bone stock form, so we decided to wait for the second shipment of Mini-Ts to come in before we did our review. Now, about the time this video is launching is when these things are supposed to be back in stock, so hopefully I timed this right, and hopefully it's just a great revisit for some of you that already are aware of it, and you know, for those of you that don't know about it, you're in for a real treat. And now's our chance to take a closer look at it, and we're going to tell you what you need to know about the Mini-T 2.0, and of course we're going to give you some action as well. But first, let's start off with what you get in this kit. So this is the box that it comes in back here, and you of course get the assembled truck. You could get the body in 3 different colors, which is very cool. They've got this blue, they got the orangish red, maybe it's red, and then they have a silver back to the body as well. So you got 3 choices there. Also comes with the radio system, just kind of your basic 2.4 gigahertz transmitter. It does have a nice foam wheel on there and some basic trim functions just in case you need to straighten out the steering or adjust the throttle trim, which we actually had to do on this truck over here. Yeah, we've run it already. In the kit, you also get a USB charger for the included LiPo battery. It's a 650 milliamp LiPo battery, and that'll actually give you some decent runtime. We'll get to that in the performance part though. And then in this bag here is pretty much the rest of the stuff you're going to need to get it running, which means the instruction manual is in there. If you've never driven an RC car before, read through the manual. It will get you up to speed on what you need to know. And then also in here are some AAA batteries and a couple of tools in case you need to take the tires off or tighten down a screw or rebind the radio system. And finally, there is a little sheet of all the aftermarket goodies you could get for this truck. Once you get hooked on it, you're probably going to buy some of these things. All right, let's talk quickly about the features that are in this truck beyond the body that's on here. We already checked that out. And let's start off on the outside with the wheels and tires. So on all 4 corners, we have BK bar style tires on yellow dished wheels. Now the BK bar tire, it does look like a very low profile pin, and that's because it is. That's because it's going to work well on very hard pack dirt surfaces, but it's also going to work well on carpet and asphalt as well. It just might wear a lot on asphalt. But beyond the wheels and tires, we got to get to this chassis. So this chassis is based on the Team Losi Racing 22T Stadium truck. And that is a very popular racing platform for 110 scale racing. And what they did basically is scaled everything down and made this awesome looking Mini-T 2.0 a great tribute to the original Mini-T, which had a huge following as well. And this thing, I think, is going to have a huge following, just the way they're selling out. But the 2.0 chassis here, it is made out of aluminum. We've got little dirt guards on the side, and then up front here is a really nice plush suspension system, which is again scaled down from the 22T. So we've got swept suspension arms, we've got adjustable upper links, a bulkhead that integrates the steering rack system in it is a rear-facing swinging steering rack. We've got a composite shock tower that extends up from that bulkhead, and then to dampen the suspension arms, we've got oil-filled threaded shocks. They are a composite shock, but these do actually feel pretty nice. And there's composite shocks on the rear as well. Again, oil-filled, and pretty much a competition suspension setup in the rear as well. We've got H-arms with small composite hubs to support the axles, adjustable tie rods out back there as well. And there are some adjustments to this suspension setup. So you can move the shocks a little bit. There's a couple holes, and there's a couple holes for the tie rods as well. So if you need to do some tuning to this thing, you could of course go ahead and do that. I think a lot of guys are going to want to go and race these things, and so you have those tuning options there. Now, the big feature here is the mid-mounted motor. You get a lot of forward bite with this. It keeps the CG low, and this transmission works really well. Now, inside, you've got a series of gears like you would on the 22T. It's got a gear differential in the back. It has dog bones instead of universals. Not a big deal here, but at least everything is metal, so it's got that going for it. And then aluminum motor plate and a slipper clutch in there as well. So you could go in there and you could alter the grease if you want to inside the differential to change the differential action. And you could even go ahead and swap out the oil and the shocks if you want to change the damping. So again, kind of a little bit of race tuning in there. And I know some people are going to do it, so that's why I'm mentioning it. All right, let's get on to the electronics. So up front here is the 107 servo from Spectrum with a servo saver at the front of it. And, you know, just kind of watching what people were talking about. With the steering servo saver is pretty soft on this, and actually this is from the second run of kits, and it's pretty much the same thing, so I'm guessing it's going to be soft there as well. Just want to throw that out there because you might want to go and see what people are doing to change that out and firm it up so you get some better steering throw. But right behind that is the 2-in-1 speed controller receiver setup. It's small, it gets the job done, and you can actually switch back and forth between a LiPo battery and a nickel metal hydride battery. They do have different cutoffs, so they give you the little pill to switch over there just in case you need to. And that, of course, goes and powers the 28-turn brush motor, which should give you some decent power, especially if you're starting off in the hobby with this truck. All right, now to get the battery in there, there are 2 clips that hold this tray right in the center that the speed controller mounts to. Just pull those clips out, battery slides right in, and you're good to plug everything in, turn the switch on, and go. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Mini-T 2.0. This truck is going to be fun for anyone ages 14 and up, and if you've been in the hobby or not. All right, I've actually gone ahead and run this truck over here already. Why don't we check out the action? So before we get into the performance, my first recommendation for you is to get a faster charger. Yes, the USB charger will get you up and running, but a faster charger will get you out and running much quicker. Now, I'll put a link in the description below to a charger I recommend for this that should be easy to use. And now let's finally talk about the performance of this truck. And this is a lot of fun. I took it over to the BMX track just because it was an easy spot for me to go to, a place that had, you know, pretty well packed dirt. And of course, jumps and bumps and stuff like that to go over. And from the moment I put this thing down, I could tell it was a lot of fun. There is a lot of wheel spin, meaning the tires just kind of spin in the dirt. These particular tires definitely like a harder packed surface, but nonetheless, I was able to find some spots where I was able to get some traction and just have a lot of fun with this truck. It's fairly quick out of the box considering its size. I mean, it is a brush motor in there, so if you're into the hobby already, you know how to drive an RC car, it might just be okay for you. If you're getting into the hobby, it's definitely going to be just right for you to learn how to drive it. But, you know, for those of you that are in the hobby, check out Dynamite's optional brushless motor for this. It's definitely going to be a lot quicker, and I think you're going to have a lot more fun with it. But the truck does handle really well. That suspension soaks up the bumps and jumps. Steering, I didn't notice the soft steering servo saver too much in the dirt. That's because I was kind of just flying around at full throttle and stuff. But when I did go onto the asphalt, I thought it turned fairly quick. I didn't notice any lag from the servo saver kind of doing its thing. But again, you know, I know a lot of people, they want that precision steering out of it, and there are some options out there to tighten that up if you want to do it. Or you could go and swap out a servo as well. That's the thing with these things. You could go and go crazy with them. When we had the original Mini-Ts, we would just modify those things to go racing. There were so many parts available, and I think that's basically happening with this as well. It's certainly a truck that you could go and grow into, whether you are racing it or, you know, just having fun with it. But overall, they did a fantastic job. Now, this truck here, as I mentioned earlier, is from the second run, and it still has the arms without the extra webbing around the hinge pin. I didn't break it, and I did tumble it pretty hard off of some of the berms at the BMX track. I didn't break the arms on it, but I do know people were breaking them, and Losi was taking care of them. I can't say for sure if that's going to continue to happen, or you have to purchase an optional arm. But just be aware of that. Don't go ramming this thing into a wall, and you're probably good to go for a while on it. Other than that, I didn't notice any durability issues. I ran this thing for well over 10 minutes each time I ran it. And if you've been driving these for a long time, please let people know in the comment section below how long you've been getting as far as run times go out of a stock Mini-T 2.0. But overall, guys, this is such a fun truck. It's a truck that, you know, RC enthusiasts should have. And if you're getting into RC, need something to do around the house, you know, you could set up a little track in your driveway, in your backyard if you have one. And these things are just going to be a blast. So I want to know what you think about the Mini-T 2.0. Do you think this thing is going to stick around for a while? Do you think that it's going to grow the mini portion of the hobby again? I know some people are thinking that already. I would definitely love to know your thoughts. Throw it in the comment section below. While you're there, hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell. Throw the video a like, and we'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver reviews.